Welcome back, everyone. Let's keep it moving right into our next forum, MICE Resource Management, and welcome our moderator, the Senior Consultant for SMM Consulting, Mr. Stephan Oost.
Good afternoon. For some of you, it's evening. For who is it evening now? Who is in his hometown? It's like between 6, no, what is it? Korea, 6 hours? Anyone later? Really, really? Where are you from? Mexico. It's earlier there, right? So you are the only one who's really paying attention because you're awake. So there are a few of you who are in the hosted buyer area, who did a great job. They came here, attended the big session, and then went out for a drink. I saw already like 40, 50, 60 people outside at the pool, complaining about that it's very late for them, having a jet lag, but still be able to sit down at the pool. So it's better for them to fall asleep over there than fall asleep over here, because it will only annoy you. That's a good thing. So we have this session going on. And I don't know if you've been into classrooms. Yes, you probably have been. It's very annoying. It's very annoying, and I'll show you. Can you stand up? Come with me. Come on stage. Take a step. There we go. We'll take a microphone. What is your name? What's your name? And what do you do here? Why are you here?
I'm here because I'm representing Viscraft.
Yeah.
I manage the brand activation business and also MICE.
Great. So what do you think of these empty chairs?
Really bad.
Really bad. What would you suggest the audience to do?
Come up front.
There you
That's
go.
what I do.
Come up front. Let's take the
I'm
first row.
known for that. Come up front.
Come up front.
Bas is here, he knows that's my job. When I get on stage, first thing I do is I want to see everyone. Come up.
And people that are late?
We're not going to bite you.
No, we're not going to bite you.
Something nice. Something that's going to be of education and meaning to you. So
there you go, there you go. Can we close the door too? And people in the back row, I mean, if you pay attention, come here. It saves us a lot of shouting. We can't even see your face. So come over here, come.
It's too much light, so we can't.
Let's even pretend we like each other. You know, we can even pretend we like each other.
Nice.
So, you're here. We didn't discuss this, right? We didn't do this. Okay. I think you're a great moderator.
Thank
Are you interested in moderating this session?
Sure.
Yeah? Can we do it together?
Sure.
Great, okay. So these are the questions that we're not going to ask, but there you go. Those are for you. And you probably don't know the people, so that's the only thing that I will do, and then we'll moderate together. How about that? Right? So the first person that I want to have on stage, next to our newborn moderator here, is Miss Jae Lee. Miss Jae Lee, are you coming up front? Yeah? Come up front. Miss Jae Lee is a manager at the MICE company, and we'll talk about her jet lag too. Big round of applause, of course. Miss Jae Lee, Miss Jae Lee, Miss Jae Lee. Leave the chairs, leave the chairs.
I think we're going to stand.
What's the time at home?
Sorry?
What's the time at home?
Maybe 11.
11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we better probably stand up, right? If we sit down there, we fall asleep. Right?
Right.
There we go. And don't mind about all these questions.
Okay.
We won't handle them, right? You make sure we won't handle them.
Yes.
Because we don't prepare things. We're event managers, we're wedding planners. We can do whatever we want.
Absolutely.
We will listen to you, we give our answers, and we share our knowledge. Do you agree?
Okay.
I try to keep on saying Jae, because her name is spelled J-A-E. For me, it's like, J is like very close to what I want to say. So keep me honest, Jae.
Chai.
Jae, there we go. The next person we want to invite from the island group is Mr. Aman. Great round of applause for Mr. Aman. There we go. Mr. Aman, our newborn moderator. There you go. You probably know each other a little bit, don't you?
Very much.
There you go. So you can introduce Mr. Aman.
No, actually, it's best that you introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Firstly, thank you
I
to
wouldn't do
IM.
justice.
There you go.
Thank you so much to the team of IMWF and also the Titanic Hotel. They've done really great job, and We are so glad, all of us here together. We've met new people, new friends, like what they said in the morning. We've got good people to hear in the morning from Viscraft, from Veena World, from all these experts of our trade. And I'll just take 1 minute about introducing what and why Island is there and how are we different from others. Island Group of companies is well known for most of the island destinations. Besides that, we are also a company which is into different destinations. Example,
This is normally the point where a moderator, but she's new, so I'll help her a little bit. This is probably the point where a moderator steps in and said, if you want to do an introduction, you can keep it very short, and then we go to the subject that they said tell us about. So it's just a heads up, it's just a learning curve.
Sure.
But that's okay. So take your moment, introduce it, 20 seconds, start now.
exactly. So we do different destinations and we are a purely B2B company for travel trade and events. We do not deal with any B2C client, whether it's travel trade or even if it's weddings, destination wedding, events, whatever. This is all.
Thank you.
There we go.
Would you like to introduce yourself as well? Because we haven't heard from you. You have that?
Hi, my name is Jae Lee from the MICE, from the Korea. I'm operating events. So MICE, the MICE are specialized MICE events. So nice
Great.
to meet you guys.
Great.
Thank
And
you,
we have
thank
one
you.
more person coming, and that's Miss Edda. And also, I always say it's my smallest, most favorite Turkish friend, but she's able to do really big things. Big round of applause. Edda Özden.
Quick introduction to yourself.
Hi, I'm Eda. I'm from Istanbul, so thank you for coming to Turkey. I am a DMC actually in Turkey and in Azerbaijan, but I'm here primarily as my role on Site Global Association, which is the leading association on incentive travel globally. And our conference is going to Bangkok in January, so we'll hope to see some of you there as well.
There we go.
Thank you.
Miss Edda. So we're here to talk about MICE resources. How do you manage MICE resources? You have been in the operations. We were just talking about operations, that you get people just throwing you around saying, you got to do this and you got to do that. Now you're a manager.
Yes.
How do you manage those people? Because those people are now the people who are looking at you and are like, what do I do?
You stand here
Yep.
and direction the side. They're over there, and there's the restaurant. So go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's like giving directions and stuff
Yes,
like that.
yes.
Mr. Aman, is the same thing with you? Is that where you are now in terms of doing your resource management, that you are more steering than you're in the operational level?
Well, as I told you, our coordinations and everything is done by the third-party service. So definitely, what she said, we're going to follow the same process on the third-party basis.
Okay, well then it's no use asking Edda the same thing, but I have a different question for Edda. But you might have a question for her in regards to resources too.
Oh, so actually, my question to you would be that how do you manage your resources effectively when you're out of your own country and you would like something that's specific to what your, the country person wants in a different country? How would you manage that? Because that is a key to delivering a great experience. So if you're from Turkey and you're going to Russia and you want your people from Turkey to experience something that's a little local to them, like Indians love food, Indian food in another country, and how would you manage that resource effectively?
Well, that's an easy question for a DMC. I would say the answer is use a DMC because your DMC will be your best local resource. And it's very, very important to get the right brief to the DMC, the profile of the clients, the characteristics and what they're looking for, what they call the return on event and return on investment as opposed to the ROI. So what the clients are looking to, what the attendees are looking to experience, what will motivate them for the year after. I think with the right pitch and the right partner, and an open line of communication, it's pretty easy to experience a destination. You don't need a big budget, you just need creative ideas.
Creative ideas, you don't need big budgets. Well, the part of big budgets I get. Creative ideas, well, that's always, I mean, that's subjective. What you think is creative, I can think it done over and over again. Have anyone in the audience experienced a situation where you were thinking that you had the right person and the right partner, and then the event started, and you got your little surprise that they didn't do what you want? Does anyone have that experience? Do you know that? Yeah? You care to share? There you go. Great. You see how this works?
Obviously, many times, I think I was the
Please
only...
keep standing up.
I think everybody would say yes. For me, the experience was almost the tricky part of the capacity. So the supplier or the partner promises to do a good job, they intend to do a good job, but then they get 5 events, they get 3 events, and their capacity is not more than 1 or 2. What do they do? It's a very tricky situation, and to be honest, I don't have any answer.
Do you want one of them to answer?
Yes, if they could. I mean, as an
There you go.
agency or as a client or as a partner, how would you deal with a situation like that? Would you honestly tell your client? Or would you try to manage it as most of us do? Or how do you manage sacrification of quality?
Shall we ask Jae Lee as first and then see whoever comes up with an
Sure.
additional thing? Jae Lee, how would you give an answer to that? How would you resolve that? So someone comes to you, you get the impression that you don't have like the right staffing in place. Would you come back to that client and say, you know, I don't have it? Would you look at like partner companies who maybe are perceived as your competition? What would you do?
I'm thinking a lot.
Yeah?
So,
Okay.
next.
Aman, any ideas?
Well,
What would you
I
do?
think we'll share this information with the client and find a way out. Little here, little there from our side, and the services extra, what we can do, and try and please the client to the best of his comfort. But we need to be honest with the client, this is where we are standing for whatever the problem is right now, and try and explain our partner, DMC partner, that this is what it is. So if we can find a midway, but both the parties are happy, one
Yeah.
handling and one servicing, and who's getting the service, and trying to go happy with everything.
Okay. Ada, anything to add?
I would be honest with the client because you want a long-term relationship, and with the one event, you know, you might fail, but in the you might succeed, but if you don't, long-term relationships count more. And people talk about bad experiences a lot more than they talk about good experiences. So.
Yeah, yeah. So to my fellow moderator, what do you think the impact will be on social media?
I think I agree with her that you rather be upfront, honest, and say that you don't have the resources to manage it, rather than give him a bad product, because it's all about being instant. I don't like something, I put it on Twitter, I put it on Facebook, and that's it. That's the end of my reputation, which is what we've built. So it's better that you upfront and say that I don't have the bandwidth to do it, and offer help to give it to other partner agencies, but do not try to do it yourself and give it to someone else. That doesn't really work.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a very personal business, so it's best that you hand it over.
Can I ask a question to the audience, and then I'm coming back to you? If there would be a choice, and the choice would be, I'm honest with you, I show my vulnerability, and I'll tell you, thank you for your request. It's not really what we do, and I get the impression that if we accept it, we will probably not meet your requirements. If I say that to you when you come up to me, can you raise your hand if that for you would be the trigger to call me again for another event because I'm that honest? Would you call me again, being that honest?
Yes.
Yeah? This is exactly. Can you pass the microphone over? So just to make sure.
This is exactly the question. If I am honest to my clients, I should not take that event that goes beyond my capacity.
Right.
That is the greatest degree of dishonesty against my client when I say, yes, I'll do that, and later on I come with excuses and say, can I make adjustments here and there?
Yes.
That is nonsense.
Great, great. So in all honesty, we're saying that if we show a vulnerability and we show that we cannot do everything that's being asked, we're perceived as better than at the moment we say we can, which is kind of an interesting thing. If you say that you cannot do something, you're perceived as better. Wow. Okay. Any other experience that we have? Yes? There's a microphone here. You know, we got two extra microphones over there.
This was the last one World Cup, Cricket World Cup.
Yeah.
India versus Pakistan in the West Indies. Now, West Indies is not a great destination for India. India lost, Pakistan lost. And Ireland was playing Bangladesh. And we had a big group. Now the group wanted a refund because they had no intention of going all the way to West Indies to watch a Ireland versus Bangladesh match. And I had an intuition that something's going to go wrong. So I sent my guys 2 days in advance, and they phone me and tell me that, boss, you're in deep shit. Because nothing what you have committed...
Sorry for the French.
Nothing what you've committed is there because, you know, everything is underrated. And this client was my most prestigious client.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up and told him, this is what has happened. And he said, don't worry. Do whatever you want, spend whatever you want. Although it's not my fault, I will reimburse you.
For being honest.
Yes. And
Right.
in 24 or 36 hours, we had to change the whole game. Meaning, change the hotels, change almost everything.
Right.
And the group was a success. Although India and Pakistan were not playing.
Right.
And the corporate, their finance team, juggled their accounts to give me this difference in the money.
So there you go. So that's another proof of if you are not able or you foresee that you're not able to meet the requirements, the first thing you have to do is pick up the phone, call the client, and talk and explain. There's no client in the world that can expect you to do everything and anything. The thing client wants is that you pay attention. You pay attention to what you are doing, but also that you pay attention to what they want to achieve. If you tell them, you know, I cannot make it, then the client will ask you, so what can you do? How can you work? I mean, Edda, you've been in situations, and I know that you've been because we know each other for a longer time. You have been in these situations. You called clients and say, hey guys, I'm very sorry. I'm looking at this and I think we're not making a deadline or we're not making it. What did you do?
Try to be as honest as possible and explain.
Yeah, with friends here, no one has their phone, doing social media or something like that. So you can be completely honest. What did you do?
Fake it till you make it? I don't know, I'm just joking. No, we try to work with, outsource it as much as possible to trusted partners. We've even worked with competitor DMCs when we had to. The success of the event is more important. We've lost money on some great pieces of business, even though it was never our fault. But we manage incentive travel mostly, and incentive travel, people have worked for a year to be on that trip, and the success of that trip is more important than you making money on one event.
Yeah.
So you make sure whatever you have to do, you make that group successful.
Great. Aman, I see you nodding, saying yes. Is that something that you can relate to, that happened to you too?
Well, it's happened in a couple of cases. Like when I introduced myself, we work with one destination, one partner. That's all about, this is how we work. And sometimes our most reliable partners, they get into this situation which they've been working for 10 years with us. But sometimes even they can't do, things happen in such a way. Intentionally, definitely nobody wants to spoil. At that time is the thing when we go and talk to the client.
Right.
And give them the history. This is what they've handled for 10 years, my relation with them.
Right.
So this is an unfortunate situation. Let's find a way out now. How do we go about this?
And immediately reach out to the client and say, hey, this is going on, you know, just showing you, these are my cards, tell it. Jae, I see you nodding too.
Yes.
Do you relate to that? Can you give us an example of what happened and what you did?
Explain the situation.
Yeah, the situation.
First, the clients.
Yeah?
So next step is
Can we get that? That works better. Go over there. I'm a real expert after this forum with microphones. If you ever need someone with microphones, I can tell you. Sorry guys, you're doing a great job.
I think about next step is solution.
Yep.
Yeah. one solution is two solutions, three solution, next step, and explain first the clients.
Yeah.
I will do that. I have a solution, and which of the you want?
Right.
Yes.
So you just give them a few of the
Client
options,
wants. Yes.
and then you ask them, so what do you feel most comfortable with, and let's solve
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Okay, great. So if we would do that, if you would do that, question to you, to the audience, see if you're still committed. If, lady in red, can I ask you a question? Would you mind? Okay, microphone's coming your way. I can tell you one thing. If you're here on stage and you wear something red, I can see you. Makes it very easy for me. If I say, the guy with a dark jacket, there will be 5 standing, but the lady with the red shirt, perfect, thank you. If you would be in a situation like that, you would have like 2 or 3 different options, and you know that you have to move around a little bit. Would you tell the client at that point what the cost is for this detour, for this additional option to make sure that you meet the deadline? Is that something you would do?
Always.
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 Always. You would always tell the client, this is the option and that's the cost. Do you all agree? Yeah, can you pass the microphone to the lady who's not wearing anything red,
Yes,
but I can still see you?
Actually, as honestly, so it should be as well for the cost, because you cannot.
Can you speak up a little bit in the microphone?
Yes, I agreed with the lady in red.
Yeah. Ah, lovely. You should make a song about that, lady in red. Could be a hit.
I agreed,
Yeah.
because once you have your clients and you are honest with them, you have to give them the options with the costs.
With the costs.
You cannot leave it until the end, and then he will surprise, or they will surprised about
Okay.
the costs.
Great. We have a response over there in the back too. Would you mind? Oh, we've got people helping themselves. This is what event management is about. Get other people to do what you have to do.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Because we also at our own company, we face this similar problem that we have to go upfront and say something to the driver. So we have a policy, clarity is better than nicety.
Yeah.
You are trying to be nice, try to juggle out things, and but we just say, okay, sir, we'll get it done, but eventually you fail and you spoil your name. So
Right.
we believe clarity is better than nicety. Rather than being nice, be upfront and be honest to the client, and client definitely stays back with you.
Yep. So in summary of what you're saying, whatever you do, and that's the message also from the people here on the stage, whatever you do, talk, share. Brings me back to a topic I heard earlier today. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Make sure that if something happens, that you inform your client. Because in the end, whatever I do, whatever we do, whatever you do, is not important if our client is not successful. We can make a whole lot of money, but if we are not having any success in supporting and servicing our clients, they won't come back. So we have like the short result. So,
Stephan, I had an interesting question for
you see,
Jae
she's
Lee.
taking a role. I can sit down there. Yeah, go ahead.
So, dealing with suppliers abroad, what would you call is the most challenging process? Did you get my question? Dealing with the suppliers abroad, what would you call the most challenging process?
Most challenging.
You wanted to
No, I wanted to give her the. It's
I
easier.
think communication is the most difficult.
Louder?
Sorry.
Communication is the most important thing.
I think communication is the most difficult process because there is the word of the language and the time gap between communication by phone call or email. So I think communication is difficult.
Mr. Aman, anything to add? It's great. No, it's great. Mr. Aman probably has something to add. He has his own microphone.
Okay.
I'm also into microphones.
Well, internationally dealing with different partners from different countries, different languages, different timings. once you're habitual to it, it becomes easy. What is the most difficult thing is, especially when mice is concerned, the requirement of different kind of things, which sometimes, most of the times, have a lot of gap to connect, which takes a lot of time for things to revert. Especially with Russians, Indians, we have very different kind of people, where mice is especially concerned. Yes.
Yes. Ms. Edda, anything to add?
I agree with that. I mean, cultural differences have proven difficult. That's why we try to push our clients to give us the most detailed brief we possibly can. And we do admit, we call them and say, tell us what they like. We can't be an expert on every single culture in the world. It's impossible. And some cultures are more open than others, so even getting that information is sometimes difficult. But you try to push for as much information as you can.
So they asked us on the panel, because we are perceived by some group of people who are organizing this, that we are the experts, right? Because we have something to share. Would you consider yourself an expert in the English language?
Sorry.
Would you consider yourself an expert? Are you an expert in the English language? Probably not.
Yeah.
Mr. Aman, are you an expert?
I'm good with it, not an expert in English.
You're good with
language.
it. You're an
Yes,
expert.
very good with it.
Do you consider yourself a native English speaker, Edda?
Pretty close to my Turkish.
Pretty close to your Turkish, but you're not a native English speaker because you're only a guest in the language. And the same thing, of course, is for all of you. There are only a few people here that are native English speaking people.
But you know, even with native speakers, it's American versus idioms change, sayings change.
I agree. This is great. You know, we prepared this. I would do this statement and then Edda would add up to that. That really works. What I want to say to you as a closure of this little session, we are all a guest in a language that is not ours. If we are trying to resolve things via an email, or even better, via a message that can only contain a few characters, the likelihood of something going wrong in what I'm sending to you or to you, and you're responding to me, like 60%. If I'm starting to use emoticons, which some people really like, you know, putting emoticon in there, it's even 70%, because no one knows where the emoticon comes from. I know a few emoticons that mean something completely different in one language opposed to another language. Some people might have experienced that. So, my message to you, be open, be vulnerable, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what the impact could be of what you're doing. Pay attention to asking people, what do you want from me? No one really minds. Do you mind if you ask a customer, say, yeah, so tell me what you really want. You know, it's nice, it's this briefing and it's nice on paper, but what is it you are looking for? We all did that. And we all have been successful, but we all had our failures too. So pay attention. Bear in mind that something as a text or an email could be something completely different to the person on the other end. You being successful for yourself could be completely different as a success for the person on the other hand. Pick up the phone. I told you this morning, call me. You can send me a message, and the first thing I'll probably do is call you. We are here to help. We are here to help and to give you the expertise that we have. That's what we've been doing here for the last 30 minutes. If you need anything else from us, great. But let's call. Let's see eye to eye. Let's hear the voice. Because someone, and this is something that's the last thing that I'm going to tell you, in the Netherlands we have 3 lights at the traffic light. It's probably, no, it's all over the world. Red, orange, green. When the light hit orange, 50% of the people, say that side, say, hey, it's orange. The other 50% on the other side say, hey, it's orange. That's odd, isn't it? It's the same thing saying, hey, it's orange. This side of the group means you have to stop, it's orange. This side of the team says, hey, it's orange, you have to hurry up, it will soon be red. It's the same phrase, it's the same word. If you don't talk and you don't communicate and you don't tell, we're up for failure. You're lucky if you don't fail. So, thanks to the panel, Edda, Mr. Aman, Jae Lee, did that right. Thanks to the new moderator, thank you very much. And thank you for paying attention. Enjoy your forum.